Hi, welcome to my video on extra problem on the circle, part 2. In this video I'm going to do one problem, but that problem is very powerful in that it uses a lot of background math, and so I chose this to explain. But not only am I going to do it algebraically, but I'm also going to show you doing it geometrically with a compass and things like that. Here we go. Find the equation of a circle in general form if A is negative 6, 2, B is 8, 4, and C is 12, negative 4 lie on the circle. So let's plot these points. A is negative 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, negative 6, 2, approximately right here. So that's A, which is negative 6, comma 2. B is 8, 4. B is 8 and 4. 8, 4 is right there. So B is 8, comma 4. C is 12, negative 4. 10, 11, 12. And negative 4 is down right here, approximately. So that C is 12, negative 4. So how are we going to find the equation of a circle? And to get the equation of a circle, we need the center and the radius. So how are we going to find the center? Well, when we did congruent triangles, we did some proofs on perpendicular bisectors. And the proofs on perpendicular bisectors lead me to find the center of a circle. If I draw a segment from A to B, join them up like that, that segment lies as a chord that's inside of a circle. And if I join B and C with a segment, that's also a chord of a circle. So what happens if you take the segment AB and construct this perpendicular bisector? The perpendicular bisector will go through the midpoint of this segment AB and be perpendicular to it. So there it is, somewhere down here. And the perpendicular bisector of BC is such that it goes to the midpoint of BC and is perpendicular to BC. These two perpendicular bisectors will intersect, and where they intersect will be the center of the circle. So what I'm going to do is pick up a compass, and I'm going to construct the perpendicular bisectors of each of these. So here I go. So if I take C, and this is a compass, I have to take a radius that's more than half the length of BC. And so when I draw this arc, like that, and I go over here at B, and I construct another arc. So just got to be careful moving these around, that's all. There it is. Oh, make it heavier. Okay, done. So I'm also going to construct the perpendicular bisector of AB, but again, the radius of my compass, because a compass is designed to draw circles, arcs like this going around. So the radius of this, the distance from one tip to the other, has to be more than half the length of BC. If I don't, then they will not intersect. So here I go. Oh. There it is, done. Now put that away, and I'm going to construct my perpendicular bisectors. So the perpendicular bisector of BC, I'll join these up, and this is the perpendicular bisector. And the perpendicular bisector of AB Join those arcs up. And the two perpendicular bisectors, if I do it right, and again, you got to be very close. You can see they're intersecting here. And if I take my, again, you got to be accurate. And if I take this to be the center here, that means that these 3 points, I should be able to put the center here. And this is the distance. So remember, this compass is drawing a circle. So this is the radius from this tip right here to the tip of the pencil. So if I draw it like that, and again, I'm going to be off a little bit because you got to be very accurate when you do these constructions. So that's roughly gives you an idea what I'm going to do when I do the algebra. So the perpendicular bisector. And also note that if I join that and this one right here and this one, if I call O the center of the circle, notice that the perpendicular, any point on the perpendicular bisector, any point along here, any point will be the same distance from A and B. And so the same here. O is on this perpendicular bisector, so these two distances are equal. Notice that all three distances, OA, OB, OC, are equal. They're the radii of the circle, so that's why O is the center of the circle by constructing the perpendicular bisectors of those segments. Notice that AB is a chord. Part of it is a segment joining one point on the circle to the other. So this is a chord. So let's find this O, and notice it's 2. So it's a 2. We come down like a 2, could be 2.5, and almost a 4, but the algebra will verify what we're doing. Here we go. Let's find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of AB. So I'm going to get the perpendicular bisector of AB. So here we go. So A is -6, 2. B is 8, 4. So I'm going to get the slope of AB. So that's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that makes it 2 over, double negative is a positive, 2 over 14, which is 1 over 7. So the slope of the perpendicular bisector, I'm going to say BIS, is -7, the negative reciprocal. And we have, notice this point right here is the midpoint of this, so we want to get the midpoint of AB. So the midpoint of AB is, we add them up, -6 plus 8 over 2, and we add up the y's, 2 plus 4 over 2, and that gives us, as a plus there, 2 over 2, which is 1, and 6 over 2, which is 3. So that's the midpoint of this perpendicular bisector here. Now we need to get the equation. So the equation, we have a slope, which is a -7. We have the point x, y. So y equals mx plus b is the equation of a line in slope y-intercept form. The y is 3. The m is negative 7. The x is 1. So we get the b. So 3 equals negative 7 plus b. So b equals 3 plus 7. So b is equal to 10. So the equation of the perpendicular bisector, the slope is negative 7 times x, and the y-intercept is 10. So that's the equation of this perpendicular bisector. So that's the perpendicular bisector of AB. Now, let's do the same and get the equation of the perpendicular bisector of, let's get BC. So B is 8, 4, and C is 12, negative 4. So we'll do the same here. We'll do the slope of BC. So the slope is negative 4, subtract 4, all over 12 minus 8, and that's negative 8 over 4, which is negative 2. So the slope of the perpendicular bisector of BC is opposite of a negative is a positive, and reciprocal of 2 is a half, so it's a positive a half. And the midpoint of BC, and to get the midpoint, we add up the x's and add up the y's. So 8 plus 12 over 2, and 4, add on negative 4 over 2, and the midpoint is 20 divided by 2 is 10, and 0 divided by 2 is 0. And we need equation, so we go y equals mx plus b, and this is x and y, and the slope is a half, so y is 0, m is 1/2, x is 10, so 0 equals 5 plus b, so 0 minus 5 equals b, so b is negative 5. So the equation of the perpendicular bisector of BC is the equation y equals slope is a half x minus 5. So that's the two equations representing. So I'm going to take these two equations and solve them, but I'm going to do it on another page so we can have more room. Here we go. So the two equations of the equation of AB, perpendicular bisector of AB, equation is y equals negative 7x plus 10, and the equation of the perpendicular bisector of BC, we come up with a half x minus 5. So notice now I'm going to solve these two equations to find a point of intersection. So the two equations are equal to y, so negative 7x plus 10 equals a half x minus 5. Because they're both equal to y, they're equal to each other. And now I have common denominator is 2, so let's multiply by 2, and we eliminate the fraction. So negative 14x, 2 times 10 is 20, 2 times a half is 1, 2 times negative 5 is negative 10, so negative 14x minus x equals negative 10 minus 20, negative 15x equals negative 30, divide by negative 15, x equals, that's negative 15, x is 2. And so now if we sub that in to whatever equation you want, so if we write down the equation y equals negative 7x plus 10, I'm going to sub 2 in the place of x. Oh, I didn't need that. So I get negative 14 plus 10, negative 4. So that's the point of intersection of 2, negative 4. So that's the center. That's O. That's the center of the circle. So we found the intersection of the two perpendicular bisectors to be 2, negative 4, which is the center of the circle. Now, let's take the point, and we take the point A, which is negative 6, 2. And so let's go back to the original diagram. If we take A, which is negative 6, 2, and the center, then we'll find, now we have the center, and we said the center was 2, negative 4. So 2, negative 4 is very close here. Very close. So now I'm getting the length of the radius. So I can come up with the equation of the circle. So the radius, this is x1, y1, x2, y2. So the radius, r, is the length of OA. So it's the square root of y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. I keep writing them down so that I don't forget. And that's a 2, subtract y2 minus y1, negative 4 squared. x2 is negative 6, subtract 2 squared. And that comes up to be, that's double negative positive, so that's a 6 squared plus negative 8 squared. And that's 36 plus 64 when we square. That's the square root of 100, which is 10. So the center is 2, negative 4, and the radius is 10. So the circle is x minus h, so it's x minus 2 squared, and y plus 4 squared equals r squared is 10 squared. So this is r squared here, so that's 100. So we want to change it to the general form. This is the standard form of center radius. So we'll square these out. X squared, product is negative 2x, doubled is negative 4x. Negative 2 squared is 4. Take the y and square it. Product is 4y doubled is 8y. And plus 4 squared is 16 equals 100. So we have an x squared, y squared minus 4x plus 8y plus 20 minus 100. So we have an x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 8y minus 80 equals 0, which is the equation of the, go back, so to sum it all up, I gave you 3 points. I found, I drew the grid and plotted the perpendicular bisectors which intersected here, and then I worked it out algebraically. Notice the math that's required. You came up with the equations of two segments, you solved them, and we came up with the circle equation, center radius, and then we changed it to general form. Perfect review before we do our quiz on the circle in standard and general form. And if you like my video, click on the like button. And if you're not a subscriber, click on the subscribe button. Visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. And that's the content on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained. Thank you for viewing my video. Hope the video was of some help to you. Bye-bye.